हेमाभदित्यै छविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we are reading from chapter 19th of the book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. I will continue reading from this paragraph. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that his spiritual master told him, "It is very good that you have attained such a perfectional stage of love of Godhead. Because of your attainment, I am very much obliged to you." So, this is a very important statement that Mahaprabhu is saying here. Mahaprabhu's spiritual master said that it is very good that you have attained such a perfect stage of love of Godhead, and because of your attainment, because you have attained this perfect stage of love of Godhead, I am very much obliged to you. So, for the spiritual master, many times we ask the spiritual master, what will please you? What can we, how can we serve you? What services can we do to please you? We have to understand that if we ask this same question to our parents, um, that what is it that will please you the most? What can we do that will please you the most? What is the answer that the parents will give us? Ideally, is that if you are happy, you will be happy. If you are happy in your life, if you do well, then we are happy. So, for the spiritual master, who is our spiritual master, who is the spiritual father, who is beyond all the material fathers and mothers that we have, for the spiritual master, the same thing is, the answer is the same, that if you are happy, then I am happy. And what will really make one actually happy is when somebody is Krishna conscious. That is when somebody is all the time thinking of Krishna. There is no other space to think of anything else. Krishna has occupied the entire space. There is not, if you take a jar and if you start filling it with big stones in the beginning, and then you put other things, then you will see that sand or water, they will make their way. But what will happen if in the very beginning, if you pour sand in that jar and then you try to put stones, it will not fit in. What does it mean? Stones are actually, we have to see the priorities. What is the first priority in our life? What are the most important aspects of our life? Giving time, investing time in that. Then the those priorities which come in the middle level, and then those which are of the least priority but they are important. Most important aspects are like health, family. Health also includes mental and physical health, because if mental health is not fine, physically you may be fit and fine, but mentally if we are not fine, then physically also we will not be able to give our 100%, and vice versa. Mental health is very fine but we are lying on the bed, but mental health is very fine on the bed. What can we do? Move our hands little bit and feet little bit. It's like swimming in water, so we can't do anything. So first is we have to take care of our health, and for that we need to plan. Taking care of health is not a random aspect. We have to plan what time should we sleep, what time should we wake up. What are those activities that I can avoid for today because I need an extra sleep time today? So, like that, we have to plan our day according to that. Then, family. If family is not supportive, if family is not favorable, then it's a big challenge for us. Therefore, if there is anything that we can do in order to keep everything in place, then we must try to do that. And if there is nothing, then that means Krishna is being especially merciful upon such a person. Because when Krishna is especially merciful to someone, because we are so attached to everything material, my family, my this, my job, my that, everything, my and I, we are stuck in between that, and therefore we are never, although we may be practicing Krishna consciousness, but we will never really become Krishna conscious. Our consciousness will never become Krishnamay. We have to become full of Krishna. Only then other other aspects which actually try to kidnap our mind. If we have completely given our mind to Krishna, then nobody can kidnap it, because Krishna is the most possessive lover. He will if you give your mind to Krishna, Krishna will hold it in such a way, anybody comes, Krishna only will give one text: get lost from here, this belongs to me, this devotee belongs to me, get out from here. So we have to try to become Krishna conscious. Practicing Krishna consciousness means what? All the purpose of doing all the devotional activities, engaging ourselves in devotional service of the Lord is for what? Is so that we can really become Krishna conscious. Not that I know, I have read Bhagavad Gita so many times, I every day read this, I every day do that. But what is the ultimate purpose? Are we reaching to that purpose? If not, then we must sit down and re-evaluate, where am I going wrong? So, spiritual father will be happy when we are really happy. And real happiness only comes when we transcend all these material levels and when we are on the spiritual platform. That is the only way one can really be happy, irrespective of what scholarly people think or don't think. Irrespective of what I think and what others think, the truth remains truth. The fact remains fact. That unless one is Krishna conscious, unless one is full of Krishna, we cannot be happy. And therefore, for our spiritual master also, many times people think that if I do this much book distribution, or if I make these many devotees, if I preach this much, if every day I'm taking this teachings of Lord Chaitanya class, yes, all these things make my spiritual master happy. They make Krishna happy. They make them very happy as long as it really makes me happy. But if there is an ulterior motive behind doing all of these things, then because I have an ulterior motive, therefore I will not be happy, and because I am not really happy, therefore Guru and Krishna will also not be happy. The father becomes enlivened when he sees his son advance beyond himself. When the father sees that my son is doing better than me, that's when the father feels really happy. Similarly, the spiritual master takes more pleasure in seeing his disciple advance than in advancing himself. We will see that spiritual master is obviously fully advanced, most advanced. But here we have to understand the context. Spiritual master takes more pleasure in seeing his disciple advance than in advancing himself. Just like in the school, we see teachers. Teachers, what do? They come to the school, they teach the subjects, they go back home, they take care of their family. Again, next day they come to the school, they teach the students. If there were no teachers in the school, these same students who come in the school, will they become in the future, will they really uh, grow up to become great personalities, or will they do well in their life? Like, nobody, if there are no teachers, we don't learn anything. Students just come to the school because everybody else is busy in their own professions. There are no teachers because those teachers are busy in some corporate job, some other professions. So therefore there are no teachers. Students come to the school, no teaching, they read by themselves, go back home. Will the next generation ever really grow up to become anything? It is not possible unless there is somebody to teach us. Therefore these teachers, they are not, they have never, they may have not done a corporate job, they may not be some lawyers, advocates, doctors, or engineers or something, but it is these teachers because of whom the students, they grow up to become all these things. Teachers take pleasure when they see their students doing so well. I am giving these mundane material examples so that we understand that if in the material world, it at such a mundane level, if this is true, then what to speak of the spiritual level? What to speak of the spiritual realm? So, spiritual master, he's already most advanced. Still, he takes more pleasure when the spiritual master sees that my disciple is doing so well. He is advancing in Krishna consciousness. My disciple, he has got Krishna prem. He's crying for Krishna. Spiritual master doesn't feel envy. We feel envy. When we see others are crying in Kirtan, our focus goes, Arey, that person, that devotee is crying in Kirtan, but I am not crying. I also have to cry. So that we start thinking of some random stuff that will make us cry. So that is because we are here, we are always competing with each other. Why this is not happening to me, why it is happening to others? Because we are always competing with each other. And as long as we try to compete, we will never be happy. We have to compete with ourselves, but at the same time, competing with ourselves also should be with um, Krishna conscious, Krishna consciousness. It should not be that I am worthless, I am useless, nothing. I'm trying to do so many things from so many years. I am chanting, but I'm not getting any taste in chanting. This kind of competition will only make us sad. We have to understand what is my qualification, that by chanting I will get taste in chanting. Nothing. I'm chanting to give pleasure to my spiritual master and to Krishna. So let me just focus on that purpose. And if Krishna wants, he will give me taste. We should not sit to evaluate. I have been chanting for so much time. I'm chanting for so many years. I'm chanting so many rounds. I, I know there are devotees here who have chanted more than 1 lakh names. But it is not about how much we do or how long we have been doing, but it is about the mood with which we do a service. We may be doing very little and we are telling Krishna that Krishna, I'm unable to do much for you. It is better to cry in humility rather than become pride after doing so many things. Thus, Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master blessed him, telling him, dance, sing, propagate the Sankirtan movement, and by instructing people about Krishna, try to deliver them from nescience. Very, very important point. Here, Mahaprabhu was given the instruction and blessing by his spiritual master that he should instruct people about Krishna and try to deliver them from nescience. Unless our authority gives us uh, this instruction that okay, now you can instruct people, you can guide people, you can preach. Unless our authority gives us that instruction, we should not try to instruct somebody, because otherwise instructing somebody means that I am better than that person and therefore I know what the other person should do. And when such kind of pride comes, then Jagannath will definitely, he's what is that he anybody who has pride, he will make sure he vanquishes or he negates that pride. So we have to go through that consequence. But our spiritual master is saying that we should preach. Preach means, preaching is not instructing. Preaching is that we should share the glories of this Krishna consciousness. We should share our experience. We should try, instead of speaking mundane things, if there is a scope, either we don't speak much unnecessarily, or if there is scope, we speak about what we have experienced and how we are benefiting, and we should try to give this to others. And instructing people about Krishna or instructing somebody, only if our authorities have given us that instruction that yes, now you can instruct people, now you can guide somebody, then we should go ahead and do that. Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master also taught him the following very nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.40. एवं व्रतः स्वप्रियनामकृत्य जातानुरागो द्रुतचित्त उच्चै हस्यत्याथो रोदिति रतौ गायति उन्मादवन्नेत्यतिलोकबाह्य. Wow. A person who constantly engages in devotional service to Krishna by chanting his holy names becomes so transcendently attached to the chanting that his heart becomes softened without extraneous endeavor. When this happens, he exhibits transcendental ecstasies by sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, sometimes singing, and sometimes dancing. Not exactly in an artistic way, but like a madman. Not that some artistically we will start doing Bharatnatyam suddenly by chanting. Or while chanting, somebody will suddenly start singing Rag Vrindavani Sarang. Not like that. Like a madman. Because we are in transcendental ecstasy, we don't realize what is nice. Maybe somebody was a very good singer, but in ecstasy, they start singing most out of tune because they are in ecstasy. Others may or may not understand, but they are in ecstasy. They are feeling that ecstasy. So I think we will pause here for today, and Krishna willing, we'll continue reading tomorrow. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for your very, very kind association. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्री श्रीमद शिलाचार्य पताका स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय. जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.
हरि हरि बोल श्री